My focus for the last few weeks has been on getting my tools reorganized in a manner that'll be conducive to making things. The first thing I wanted to do was build some shelves along this wall of the garage and some tool cubbies for within the shelves. This video will mostly detail the cubbies, but I'll let the shelf build footage roll and give an address on the state of my YouTube channel. For the most part, it's time for me to shift this channel from focusing on the van build to new projects. I want to make some upgrades and modifications to the camper van, but I haven't started any of that yet. Long term, I want to take on more projects like the van build. Campers, bus conversions, and tiny homes are all really interesting to me. The chances are good that there'll be more projects in that realm on this channel in the future. I'm also really keen on building a mobile workshop that can be towed from place to place until I have a place where I can set up a large permanent shop. In the short term, though, I'm going to be working on some smaller projects. Some home projects and some shop projects, some woodwork and some experiments with new materials. If there's anything you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to hear. Let's go back to this project. The plan is to get half of this garage set up as a workshop, starting with some shelving and tool organization. I won't be working in this space long term, so I either want to build things that can be left in place in the garage and useful for other purposes, or things that can be easily moved to another workspace. The shelves are an example of the former, and the cubbies of the latter. So far, what I've done here is cut off a large section of plywood and clamped on a straight board as a guide for routing a dado. From here, I'll route a series of dados across the whole piece. These dados will accept movable cubby dividers. This will make more sense soon. Alright, that's it for routing dados. I can now slice this board up into individual pieces. The section with dados on both sides is going to be a horizontal divider in the larger cubby. The other 4 pieces will form the tops and bottoms of the 2 cubbies. Next, I need to cut the end pieces, and then I have all the main pieces for the cubby frames. I got this track saw recently, and this was the first project I used it on. I had been wanting a track saw for quite some time. I gotta say, it really is a joy to use and creates very clean cuts. At this point, I turned my attention to making the cubby dividers, and I wanted to try something different here. Instead of making these out of wood, I'm gonna use cardboard. I'm all for finding a purpose for something that would otherwise end up in the trash or recycling bin. What I've been doing here is using wood glue to laminate 2 pieces of cardboard together into a thicker and stronger piece. I need 3 different sizes of dividers, so before gluing these together, I had roughly cut all the pieces to the required sizes. I'll cut them to their final dimensions once they are glued together. After applying the glue, I stacked all the pieces up and sandwiched them between some wood scraps to keep them flat. I sat something heavy on the whole stack and left everything to dry. Next up, I assembled the plywood pieces I cut earlier. I used some corner clamps to hold the pieces together while I pre-drilled and drove in screws. Nothing fancy here, just some butt joints. At this point, I cut some 1/4 inch plywood for the backs of the cubbies and then used the table saw to cut the cardboard dividers to their final size. This was my first time cutting cardboard on the table saw, and it worked pretty well. The bottom edge had a little bit of tear out, but not too bad. Also, I found that a faster feed rate seemed to lead to a cleaner cut. And here's how it all fits together. The horizontal divider ended up pretty flimsy in the big cubby, but the dividers will help support it. The backer board will also give it some support as well. The doubled up cardboard fits pretty well in the 1/4 inch Dados. The fit is a little tight, but not too bad since the cardboard is able to compress a little. I'm interested to see how the cardboard holds up here over time. If I need to replace these with wood later down the road, that won't be that big of a deal, and I wanted to give this a try. I used brad nails to attach the backer boards to the frame, and after this, these were ready to set up. Once the space on the shelves was cleared, I put them in place and then got to work organizing all my tools within them, and this was the fun part. The design for these, if you haven't noticed already, was very much inspired by the tool cubbies Ron Paulk has designed for his tool trailers. The adjustable dividers make it really easy to arrange and organize all the tools within the cubbies. Organization can be a bit of a tricky thing, but I like how this gives each tool its own dedicated spot and how it's easy to pull it away and put it back in that spot.